So man has a nature in him that is prone against God, and then you also
Yes.
add into that Ephesians 2. There's a spirit of the age. There's a spirit. What I say? The spirit that now worketh in these children of
Children of
disobedience.
disobedience.
Okay,
Yes.
and all of that working together, the fallen man nature plus the spirit of the Satan, spirit of this age, spirit of wickedness working behind that. You're saying all of that is what creates the occult and all these type antichrist type stuff. Is that what you're saying? What do you think about that?
Essentially, yes. That's exactly right.
Okay.
That's, I mean, yeah, precisely.
Okay. Well, okay. Let me ask you this. All right. Let's just say I'm a Christian guy, and I've got kids, and we want to go to church, we want to live right, but Disney movies are just eat up with this stuff, and you see all that. What is that doing to my children? What is that doing to me when I watch that? What is happening in that aspect?
Well, essentially what we do when we go watching stuff like that, they say, oh, well, if I watch Snow White, it's not a big deal. My kids watch it. It's just a cute little movie and everything. But it has the evil queen that is essentially a witch. Yeah. Mirror, mirror on the wall. She consults with a familiar spirit. She casts a spell. She makes this poison apple that has a spell on it.
Okay.
All these things. What it's doing there is it may seem an innocent story about how good triumphs over evil, which is good, but what it's doing is it's desensitizing us to these things. It is opening the door to these things, making it so these things seem normal. We see it in the same way in terms of essentially the homosexual agenda today.
Yeah.
We see it. Just read something the other day. The big thing lately has been the Marvel movies and everything, and they're visually fantastic, and incredible things. And yet now they've announced that they're going to have two homosexual characters as far as superheroes in their upcoming movies.
Okay.
They haven't specified who they are or what movies they're going to be in or anything, but it's all a desensitization. Is we're promoting an agenda, and so we're going to just interweave it in everything else. Now, I guarantee that the movies that these individuals are in, they will be entertaining movies. They'll be like people will want to go see these movies. They'll be exciting, they'll be dramatic and everything. And that will be kind of a low-key side story that's going on. It won't be, every time they do it, it becomes more and more a part of the story.
Right.
But it's not going to be, hey, come out and watch this homosexual movie. No, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be a superhero movie. That's going to be a sidebar on it. But the sidebar desensitizes us to it, so it becomes accepted as that's normal.
Okay.
It's the same thing with the occult.
Right.
We watch these movies, we read these stories and all this, and they are enjoyable. I can tell you, in my flesh, I enjoy a lot of that stuff too. I always have. That's why I have to be very careful about what I let into my home and into my life, because whatever you let into your eye gate, it goes into your heart,
Right.
into you. It's not. It's like what the Bible talks about, what corrupts a man, and it's what's in his heart.
Right, sure.
And that's how it gets in your heart,
Right.
is through what you see, what you do, what you speak, all that.
Okay. Well, I'll just share with you a testimony of me, and I have a TV. I grew up with TVs. I watch stuff. I mean, I love entertainment. I do, because I love to just sit there and just be entertained with something and not have to think about nothing. I just that's just something I've always enjoyed, and I think that's what
amusement.
Yeah, it's amusement. Amusement means just no thinking. That's what it means.
That's exactly
so
right.
I love that. But I watched a while back. I watched it was years ago. It was after I got saved. I think it was probably 3 years after I got saved. I sat down and I watched what I thought was a suspense movie. Okay. Turned out it got real dark real quick. And I went ahead and finished the movie. And then I went to my bedroom and I opened up my Bible and I realized, I don't want to read that Bible. It's like whatever spiritual fire was in me, it threw a wet blanket all over that. I couldn't pray. I couldn't read the Bible. It's like it oppressed me.
That's interesting.
And I just felt that way, and I wonder if there is a spirituality, there's a principality, there's a power according to Ephesians 6.
Yes.
I wonder if there's a spirituality behind it. If I posted this on Facebook a while back, and I'll just share with you my thoughts on this. Okay, we're losing young people in churches today, but the thing is that these kids today, they have unfiltered access to the internet. They're literally baptizing their minds in Marvel movies and Disney movies and occultic, satanic stuff through their entertainment venues, and it's all through kids stuff. And then they go to their school where they're just inundated with all kinds of perversion. And then we have a 1-hour youth conference every 3 months on a Saturday, and they go in there and we wonder why these kids are going to the world. It's because literally they are swimming in a swamp of the occultism, of Satanism, of spiritual warfare. And then we try to take them out and try to dry them off in these youth conferences about once every year, and then send them right back into the hellhole of the home they live in, and we wonder why they don't turn out right.
Well, it's the bombardment of the occult, and what you mentioned about it being spiritual, and absolutely it's spiritual. What people don't recognize is that everything in life truly is spiritual.
Wow.
I mean, everything you do, everything is this. The Bible calls this the temporal. This is the temporary world. The physical world is not the real world. The spiritual world is the real world. And there are spiritual forces around us every day, whether we realize it or not.
Right, right.
And these kids that you refer to, and we talk about, how they have unfiltered access to the internet, and, it's on TV and stuff like that. But it's 24/7. Yeah. Because it's not just the movies, it's not just the TV, it's not just the internet, it's the music, it's the everything. They're exposed to it constantly. I remember the music that I used to listen to. I grew up in the 70s, 80s, and we used to listen to things like Fleetwood Mac, and Stevie Nicks was a professed witch. I used to listen to Led Zeppelin. Jimmy Page was a Satanist. And
he was a devout occultist.
Very much so.
Ladies and gentlemen, y'all listen to that. Led Zeppelin, the guy, Jimmy Page was a devout occultist. He actually bought Aleister Crowley's mansion there in Scotland.
Yes, he did.
He's a devout occultist, okay? And these people that the rock and roll, when people say, well, it's just whatever, it's just a style of music. No, it is the musical language of Satanism and occultism. That's all that stuff is born out of rituals and all this stuff. And it's the music is the theme of that stuff. And so you got to realize that it's more than just music. There is a spirituality behind this. So go ahead, Brother Bill. I'm sorry to cut you off. I just want to throw that plug in.
Oh, no, you're absolutely right. I was kind of going to mention that too. You mentioned that he bought Aleister Crowley's mansion. Then on top of that, he had an interior decorator go in and purposely decorate the place to amplify its spiritual and satanic elements to it, and it's bad. But then we don't often even understand what Satanism is. We're talking about the occult, but Satanism per se, people think that Satanism is where you go out and you sacrifice a child and you praise Satan and you pray to him and all that. No, that's not. Absolutely not. According to Aleister Crowley, he said that, what was his... do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Basically, the whole idea behind the 1960s, do whatever feels good, do whatever you want, and even today, this is a prevailing, if it feels good, do it. Yeah. It's all about what gratifies me. That's satanic. That straight out of the Satanic Bible there. He said, whoever said, and I'm not going to quote this exactly, but Aleister Crowley said that whoever says, thou shalt not to me, is my mortal enemy. That's essentially what he said. That the Satanist recognizes no authority over them whatsoever, whether it be God or even Satan. You see, they declare themselves their own God in Satanism.
Yeah. So. Well, people don't realize this. When I was in middle school in the late 90s,
okay,
and Marilyn Manson came out, okay, and Marilyn Manson is actually a ordained minister of the Church of Satan out there in San Francisco, and which, by the way, the Eagles song "Hotel California" is actually about that song. What Anton LaVey was the guy who created that.
Yes.
Yeah, Anton LaVey is actually on the back cover of that Eagles album, and so he's on there. And matter of fact, what was it? That Beatles album they did.
Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Yeah, I can't repeat all that, but Aleister Crowley is actually on that album.
Yes, he is.
Anton LaVey, is he on there too? Anton LaVey? No, but
I
I know
think that
Crowley.
was before he was real big.
Okay, Crowley was on there. And so Anton LaVey and Aleister Crowley are two names you need to be very familiar with, ladies and gentlemen, this occultic stuff. Go look up what they're saying, because they actually are saying the same stuff me and Brother
Yeah.
Bill here are saying. And except these people, are saying this with the intent of, this is what we're doing. And but Marilyn Manson actually was an ordained minister of the Church of Satan. And people asked him, said, okay, what is Satanism? And because he was accused of everything imaginable, I mean, all kinds of wild, immoral acts and crazy. I mean, when I was a kid, somebody said, you should listen to Marilyn Manson. I heard that Marilyn Manson threw a puppy out into the crowd and they tore it to pieces. It wasn't true. I mean, Marilyn Manson probably has never done anything like that in his life, okay? But Marilyn Manson said, what is Satanism? He said, Satanism is just basically doing what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he said.
That's
And
exactly right.
that is exactly what Satanism is, okay? And so most of these folks that are into all this stuff, they don't even, I mean, that's really it. It's not some crazy cloak and dagger, run around killing people in the night
No.
stuff. It's just basically just do what you want to do. And
Right.
that is Satanism, that is the occult.
That is precisely correct. Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Wow. Well, that's pretty interesting.